Hi everyone, welcome to this DeucesCrack.com poker training video. I'm Death Donkey, and today I'm going to be playing this 1536 max game on Full Tilt. I just got loaded up, and we're going to get started. Posted my big blind here for the first time. I've been keeping an eye on this game for a little while, and it appears to be a pretty good game with a couple players open limping. As you can see in this first hand, I get a free look at the flop in the big blind here with Queen 6 offsuit. I flop top pair, and I'm going to go for a check raise on this player who's probably going to bet his full range when I check to him on the flop here. It's also a pretty draw-heavy board. It's likely that he does have a piece of it in some way. Turn is kind of a scary card for me. Not knowing a lot about this player, I'm probably going to show this hand down. It's kind of a question of how. I'm probably going to go ahead. I'm going to check to him here, and I'm hoping to induce a bluff. He also may have a really small, weak hand, like a small suited connector or something. He checks behind, and now I have a decision about whether to go for a check to induce a bluff from a misdraw or value bet and hope he pays me off with a weak pair. I believe that this player is probably a fairly loose passive player, and for that reason I think he's going to pay me off with a wide range, so I'm going to bet for value and hope he calls me with a 10 or a 5. It's also possible that I am beat here, but I'm pretty happy with my hand at this point, having him check behind on the turn, and having a second ace hit on the river makes me pretty comfortable with this hand. He times all the way down and eventually folds. I'm thinking it's pretty likely that he did miss a draw of some kind. Right now I'm going to pull up a program you guys have seen me use a lot before. It's Tilt Blocker. I'm going to cover my stack here. I bought in for a large enough amount I shouldn't have any problem needing to reload, hopefully. So I'm going to go ahead and use that to cover up my stack, and we're going to be able to get that distraction out of the way and get to the interesting decision making. I have, as you can see, some PokerAce stats on several of the players at the table. The player on my immediate left is what I would consider a fairly loose passive player for this limit, especially his pre-flop stats. He has about a 34% VPIP with only an 11% pre-flop raise. Definitely a fairly ideal person to have on my left because he's going to be a fairly passive player and not put me in a ton of difficult decisions out of position. The player 2 to my right, Caraway, is a bit of a lag, a bit too loose from the stats that I have on him, and I do have a note on him. The note says, as you guys can all read here, don't bluff value bet wide, meaning he tends to call on the river with a wide range, and his stats would back that up. The stat on the furthest to the right here is his went to showdown percentage, which is 43%, which is a pretty high went to showdown.